Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So with that being said, let's dive on in. So the overall chart here, I'm looking at the all-time chart, I'm looking at the log scale. Man, I'll tell you what, this thing looks very interesting on the log scale. Very different versus most altcoins. You could argue that this dip all the way back down to like the mid 80 level was very bearish. Honestly, this thing looks gorgeous. When we're talking about the next move here, I do believe that we are going to see a spring move to $160 plus, which could very well be our path to $400 being retested and breaking to a new all-time high. I also believe that QNT in the next run-up is going to be a major player. Listen, when we're talking about the supply ratio for QNT versus any other altcoin out there, it is next level. The supply with utility that Quant delivers is next level. It's game changing. It's something that a lot of people are not looking at. But also the markets. Listen, this thing is listed on almost every major exchange. There is some other listings that could happen for Quant. But for the most part, like, retail has easy access to this. That's why I say, like, when retail really kind of comes back in, because right now retail does not care about crypto. Just full transparency, like nobody actually cares about crypto right now. When retail starts flooding back in, they're gonna look at these tokens that have very low supply ratios. In my opinion, QNT is going to be a perfect choice for anyone that really kind of wants to look into a token that does have deflationary tokenomics similar to Bitcoin, for an example. And Quant's going to be a major player in my opinion. But also, like, when you look at the overall overall chart here, this chart looks very good. I've been addressing this and talking a little bit about it. We've already tapped down into a significant area, which was backtesting resistance from the 2021 timeframe before we hit $400. We flipped that into support so far. Now I'm just really kind of looking for a significant move to $110 plus. We still have been hitting some resistance up there. I'm waiting for that to break over. But nonetheless, there has been a lot of great development. Before we dive deep in, though, I just want to let you guys know that if you guys wanted to go get your very own QNT themed merchandise, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we even have long sleeve shirts over on Tokenized Threads. You guys are more than welcome to. There's going to be a link down in the description below, as well as in the comments below. Tokenizedthreads.com. It's the official crypto merch of the channel. It is my very own brand. So if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to. But outside of that, we have recently seen some very large meetings with, of course, Quant. We've seen this one just recently. So one thing that we've been talking a little bit about with Ripple is all of the connections to some of these major organizations out there. Well, it seems as though Quant is right there with Ripple. We do see here, taking to the stage now at UK Finance DIS to discuss the digital pound. A few players here from Citi, the Bank of England. We have Gilbert Verdian, of course, the BIS, the Digital Pound Foundation, Banco Santander, and there's also other individuals, but these are the most prominent names here. These are very significant leaders around the financial system. But as we scroll down, we do see we're about to embark on a design phase. We've said a digital pound is needed. That's a long way from saying we're going to build it. We need consultation and a rigorous framework for decision making. The digital pound consultation paper led to a lot of feedback. We're not close to making a decision. We're en route to making one. We need to ensure everyone's voice is heard. The question now is, where does the innovation come from to support a digital economy? And here we have, of course, from Gilbert Verdian. We're already at optimum payments. Project Rosalind was a practical experiment to help answer what the real benefit of a CBDC would be. Tokenized money can have logic and programmability built in. Why did the core ledger for Project Rosalind only include central bank money? Why not include commercial bank money too? And let that be the catalyst for the innovative use cases from Citi, by the way. The grand vision is you have not only tokenized money, but also tokenized assets. Question about traceability. We need a new form of money with logic and programmability, says Gilbert Verdian. Money laundering and fraud ever increasing, and banks are liable will always exist, but this new money gives us far better tools to solve it. Key thing to happen next, the work should continue. The potential of tokenization and applications to cross-border payments are definitely worth exploring. CBDC or deposit token, they're not substitutes for crypto unless they live on public blockchains. We need to occupy the spaces where our customers are. Now, we already know that Quant has been working with the Bank of England with the BIS. They've been working very closely together, especially on this digital pound, but also looking around applications with DLT, specifically APIs. They were looking at API use cases with CBDCs and how this could very well look, especially along the lines of, tapping into DLT, blockchain, things like that. But what's very interesting is also the connections back to even Ripple and also even XRP, which we will get to here in a second. But first, I also want to go deeper into this UK Finance's Digital Innovation Summit meeting and talk to you guys about a few things. So within this, we got a few discussion topics to kind of go over. The main one is the digital pound, right? It's needed. And they are a little bit of a ways out from actually designing it and launching it, but they also want tokenized assets. Everything of value will be tokenized. We just recently talked a little bit about this in the past, and we will also we're going to continue to be talking about this because tokenization is a huge game changer, especially when we're talking about major markets and asset classes like real estate, which is a $300 trillion plus market. Like, when you look at how big this is, it's so much bigger than anything else out there. So when we look at some of these projects like Quant, we look at some of these projects like Ripple, we need to be tapping into them. We need to be researching them. We need to understand what's happening here, because being able to be at the forefront of this massive move is going to not only make you extremely wealthy, but it's also going to allow you to be ahead of 99% of the general public. Over here we have from Quant. During a panel session at the ALFI Fund's London conference last month, our chief product officer discussed asset digitalization for the investment management industry with a panel that included HSBC's global head of digital asset strategy. Now, going back to this statement over here, which was, of course, from the Bank for International Settlements, the senior advisor, the grand vision is you have not only tokenized money, but also tokenized assets. What's very interesting about this is we recently seen Ripple moving heavily on tokenization services. Quant has also been at the forefront of this. But over here now, we have HSBC discussing digitalization with also the chief product officer at Quant. Why is this significant? Well, we're going to get to that here in a second. But first, I want to dive into this and talk a little bit more about this. So down here, we have the impact and opportunities for both asset managers and services sought to explore how technology is disrupting the asset management and asset servicing industries. The use of DLT and blockchain, the tokenization of assets, the need for effective data management solutions, as well as the rollout of AI are creating challenges, but also many opportunities for all participants. Legislation and regulation are just as important, he noted, before proceeding to outline his vision for asset digitalization. The underlying promise of digital assets is settlement finality. That's why we tokenize commercial bank money. And also remember, settlement is crucial. The real benefit of digital assets is the speed and certainty with which you can trade. As long as you can have some form of tokenized money. It's all very well having assets on blockchain, he said, but the underlying promise is that you can get it more rapidly with settlement finality. We're very comfortable with CBDCs, but not crypto or stablecoins. We tokenize commercial bank money instead. And here we have from Project Rosalind, we also see a lot of demand for systems that use commercial bank tokenized money. Significant quote there. The potential is to speed up markets in a safe manner. Settlement inefficiencies are rife. More rapid settlement means profound change in terms of counterparties and liquidity. And we also do see Martin confirm that many financial institutions are aware of the opportunity but struggling with the strategy. For him, the momentum will be unleashed once the various experiments start to interoperate. And this is where Quant comes into place. We see some live CBDCs, some tokenized deposits. Those will start to connect, and that will change the payments landscape. I agree with Martin. This is about efficiency. The other element is liquidity. That's what will change the structure of markets. Now, This is significant to mention because, again, we're talking about CBDCs. We know that HSBC recently tapped into Ripple's Medico to launch security token custody. I've always said that custody is the beginning. Tokenization is next. Remember, right, that HSBC is already aware of Ripple. Also remember, right, that Quant has been working with Ripple for a while on the Digital Pound Foundation. These two are very well, known to each other. We also know that the public and private sector is collaborating heavily within the financial space. And we also know that through Quant, specifically Overledger, you could actually tap in to the XRP ledger. You could tap into Ripple. You could tap into those things. This is significant to mention considering the fact that over here, we're talking about liquidity. We're talking about tokenization. We're talking about interoperability. All of that could be realized in through Overledger. And Overledger has already been collaborating with the BIS with Project Rosalind. Ripple is also collaborating with the BIS on the CPMI group for cross-border payments. All of this is coming together at a perfect time. And also outside of all of this, we know that the last major step is regulations, standardization. Like, these are the things that we need to see. And there was a recent article that got posted. Quant Chief, bring on the boring blockchain use cases. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we know what this is. It's time to welcome the boring use cases. Those that prioritize security, regulation, and efficiency. These are the ones that I'm looking at right now. Because again, as we look at CBDCs, they're happening. Ripple is working on CBDCs. They have their CBDC platform. 93% of central banks are already in talks about CBDC discussions. They're looking into CBDCs for many of their major efficiencies and also the benefits. But also outside of this, there's already players in the space that are working with these central banks, like Quant, like Ripple. These are the players that I'm looking at, especially as we do gear up to have regulations flood into this market. And remember, once we have regulations, well, guess what? We're going to see a major shift happen in the space. We are going to see 99% of the space wiped out. And what will be left is those utility tokens, those that have the boring use cases, those that have been prioritizing security regulations and also even efficiency. This is what gets me very excited about Quant. Because again, like, the tokenomics behind Quant, the utility behind Quant, this is what you want to see. And also outside of all of this, right, we know for a fact that Quant and Ripple have been coordinating for over 2+ years together. These are pioneers in this space. There's a lot of great tokens in this space, but there's a lot of trash too. In fact, even in the top 20, there's tokens that don't even belong in this space. We will start to see that revolution happen. When we do, QNT becomes extremely valuable as well. XRP becomes extremely valuable. HBAR, extremely valuable. And the list goes on. This is what we are waiting for. The time for boring use cases, it's coming. It's happening. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me over on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.